Welcome to the 48th season of Varsity Quiz, where the best and the brightest high school students in Clark County are matching wits in a unique academic competition. Now, during the regular season, there were 24 different high school teams competing in 4 regular divisions. We also had 14 high school teams battling it out in 2 ultra-competitive divisions. Well, tonight we have the first semifinal match for that regular division of Varsity Quiz. Tonight we have Valley High School taking on Bishop Gorman. Both are undefeated, so we're looking at a pretty good match. Let's go ahead and meet our starting players. For Valley, we start with a junior. It's Chris Kuhlmeyer. Hi, Chris. We also have a senior, Ming Yang. Hi, Ming. Glad you could be with us. 11th grader Edsel Bester. Hi, Edsel. And we also have a junior, Skylar Bogardus. Hi, Skylar. Those are our players for Valley. Let's meet our players for Gorman. Starting with the senior, Ian Thomas Shelton. Hi, Ian Thomas. Here's another senior, Christian Moorhead. Christian, welcome. Another 11th grader. This is Nalisha Silva. Hi, Nalisha. Glad you could be here. And senior, Connor McDermott. We're going to meet more of our players talking about these sharp young men and women at the end of the first round. But right now, let's get into Varsity Quiz. Here's your first question. Name the ism that describes the relationship that exists between certain vertebrates and life forms such as flukes, fleas, and tapeworms. And that is Gorman. Christian.
Parasitism?
That is correct, and a little bit louder next time, Christian. Next question. Leading up to the French and Indian War, the French and the British both claimed the upper part of what major... And that'll be Gorman. Christian.
Ohio River Valley?
That is correct. Next question. In 1806, Thomas Jefferson received word from General William Eaton that what former vice president had tried to recruit him for a military expedition against... And that is Gorman. Christian.
Aaron Burr?
Yes. Just by their names, you can surmise that Sirtos and Koftos are folk dances of what European country? And that'll be Valley. Edsel?
Greece?
Yes. Give the term starting with the letter C for the following kind of phrases from everyday speech. I reckon, and let's hit the hay. And that'll be Valley. Skylar?
Catchphrase.
Incorrect. Gorman, that is Nalisha.
Colloquial phrases.
Judges? That is correct. We move on to the next question. The Rickettsia rickettsii that cause Rocky Mountain spotted fever are what kind of prokaryotic microorganisms? Gorman. Christian?
Negative ones?
No. Valley. Edsel?
Amoebas?
No, they are bacteria. Next question. Name either of the 2 South American countries that are adjacent to both the Pacific Ocean and Brazil. That is Valley. Edsel?
Colombia and Peru?
Yes. Next question. Here's a haiku about what novel? Dusk, the windmills turn. Is the dawn mad, or are we? And that is Gorman. Ian Thomas.
Don Quixote?
Yes. Here's a math question. Restate the nth root of the letter B as a fractional exponent. Repeating, restate the nth root of B, and that'll be Valley. Christian.
B
Chris.
to the 1 over n.
That is correct. Moving on. In December of 2016, Republican lawmakers from which state called a special session to pass measures that would weaken the powers of the incoming Democratic governor-elect? Valley. Edsel?
North Carolina?
Yes, sir, that's correct. Next question. Consider this reasoning. If a flat tax replaces progressive taxation, I would have more money in my savings. I have more money in my savings, so a flat tax must have replaced progressive taxation. This illustrates the fallacy of affirming, and that'll be Valley. Chris?
Circular reasoning.
Incorrect. Gorman. Ian Thomas.
False equivalency?
No, we're looking for the consequent. Next question. In 1861, President Lincoln named George McClellan as General-in-Chief of the Union Army, replacing what aged and infirm general who had been a hero in the War of 1812? And that'll be Valley. Ming?
General Meade.
Incorrect. And a victorious leader during the Mexican War. We were looking for Winfield Scott. Next question. You would be in what Irish town if you kissed a particular stone in a particular castle and suddenly acquired the gift of gab? That's Valley. Edsel?
Cork.
No? Gorman, Connor?
Carry.
No, it is Blarney. Next question. The cliche "at a blank's pace" relates to the speed of what gastropod, indicating a very... And that is Gorman. Alicia?
Snails.
That's correct. What island republic east of the People's Republic of China? And that is Gorman. Christian?
Taiwan.
Yes. What was the first halogen to be discovered when Carl Scheele reacted manganese dioxide with hydrochloric acid? And that is Valley. Ming?
Argon.
No? Gorman. Christian?
Hydrogen.
No, we're looking for chlorine. Next question. Give the term beginning with the letter P for words like jazzercise, brunch. And that is Valley. Edsel?
Pilates.
No? Another word is motorcade. What are we looking for? Well, you want to tell your folks these are portmanteau words. Next question. In early 2016, the U.S. Olympic Committee told American athletes they might consider not attending the Rio Olympics in August if they were concerned about the outbreak of what? And that will be Gorman. Ian Thomas?
Zika virus.
Yes. What political position was held by Stanley Baldwin, David Lloyd George, and Neville? And that'll be Gorman. Christian?
Prime Minister of the UK.
Yes. What force is illustrated by the resistance you encounter when walking into a strong wind? Gorman. Connor?
Air friction.
No? Valley. Ming?
Air resistance.
No, we were looking for drag. Next question. The 3-year Japanese occupation of the Philippines began after U.S. forces surrendered on what peninsula of western Luzon? And that is Valley. Ming?
Baton.
Yes. Next question. Dictyon Cave, the legendary birthplace of Zeus, is located in the high mountains of what major Greek island in the eastern Mediterranean? Gorman. Christian?
Crete. Crete.
Yes, that is correct. Name the tiny space between the terminal branches of an axon and the dendrites of another neuron. Gorman. Ian Thomas?
Synapse.
That is correct. Next question. A mass of very cold, dry air originating over the ocean north of Canada and Alaska is known as what kind of air? And that's Valley. Schuyler?
Low pressure.
No? Gorman. Connor?
Nor'easter.
No, it is Arctic air. In contrast to poisons that must be absorbed, substances such as lye or strong acids destroy tissue but are not absorbed. How are they classified? And that is Gorman. Ian Thomas?
Caustic.
No. And time, those are corrosives. So those are all the questions we have in our first round. Let's go ahead and meet our players and find out a little bit more about them. We're going to start up at Valley again. We have junior Chris Kuhlemeyer. Chris, welcome. You having some fun so far?
I am.
Excellent. Tell me something about yourself that you do in school.
Currently, I am the Bravo Company Commander within the JROTC program, and I feel really accomplished with that.
Have you been doing that since you started high school?
Yes, I have.
So you'll continue next year?
Yes.
Awesome. Good luck with that, and good luck here tonight. Ming Yang, a senior at Valley. Have you been playing Varsity Quiz for a while?
Yes, I have.
Excellent. Well, you've made it this far. And tell me your favorite subject in school.
History.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good so far. Good luck with the rest of Varsity Quiz here. Thanks for being here. Next, we have junior Edsel Bester. Hi, Edsel.
Hi.
Tell me about your favorite subject in school.
Well, my favorite academic subject is geography, and my favorite class is biology.
Biology. Awesome. Well, those will help you here if we have some questions about that. So good luck. Thanks for being here. And junior Schuyler, tell me what you do at school outside of Varsity Quiz.
I'm in marching band and participate in National Honor Society.
Awesome. What do you play in the marching band?
I'm section leader of drumline.
You sound pretty serious about that, Schuyler. All right, well, good luck with that. Those are our students from Valley. Let's learn more about our kids from Gorman. And we'll start with Ian Thomas Shelton. Hey, Ian Thomas, you having fun?
Yeah.
And you are involved with playing a musical instrument, right?
Yeah, I play guitar.
How long have you been doing that?
About 3 years now.
Is this acoustic or electric or both?
Both.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that. Good luck here tonight. Let's see, we have Christian Moorhead. Hi, Christian.
Hi.
You are on a sports team. What do you play over there?
I play lacrosse.
And there are different positions on the lacrosse
Yeah,
team?
I play defense.
So you get to go after the guys that have the ball in the net?
Oh, yeah, it's the best position.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that. And good luck here tonight. Nalisha Silva, an 11th grader. I understand that you're in the orchestra at Gorman.
Yeah, I play violin.
Excellent. Well, I want you to say hello to Mr. Newman for me.
I will.
No, Jeff Newman is the conductor over there. He's a good guy. Thank you, Nalisha. Good luck. And Connor McDermott, I understand you also play a sport.
Yeah, I play some soccer.
And you guys have a varsity team over there?
Yeah,
And what position do you play?
I play winger.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of Gorman. So that is the end of round one. We'll be back to find out more of what's happening in round two right after this. Our varsity quiz match consists of 3 rounds. Each question is worth 5 points. The first round has 25 toss-up questions. The second round, that's the bonus round, and it is timed. The team correctly answering the toss-up question will have the opportunity to then answer a 2-part bonus question worth 10 points. The final round, that's the lightning round. It is also timed. At the end of that first round, here is our score. Valley has 25 points, Gorman with 55, but anything can happen. We've got our bonus round coming up here. We have a couple of new players we'd like to introduce you to. Valley is keeping all of their same players. On Gorman, we have 2 new players. We have Janavi Narula. Hi, Janavi. How's it going? It's good. How are you? I'm mostly sunny, but you probably heard that before. You're a senior over there. Good luck with that, and good luck here tonight. And Zach Geinzer. Hey, Zach.
Hi.
You're just a 10th grader, so you got a couple more years over there.
I do.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that, and good luck with the varsity quiz. Let's start our bonus round. What often ignored Parliamentary Act of 1765 that imposed duties on newspapers and legal documents? And that will be Valley. Skylar.
The Stamp Act.
Yes, we have bonus questions now for Valley only. Answer the following history questions. First, identify any of the 3 centuries during which the Crusades took place. Second, the last Muslim empire, the Ottoman Caliphate, collapsed at the end of what war?
Ottoman Empire was the end of World War I, was it not?
Captain?
Okay, our first answer is the 1200s, and our second is World War I.
And both are correct. The other 2 centuries were the 11th and the 13th. All right, here is a math question for both teams now. Solve this inequality for x. 3 halves times the quantity 1 minus x is greater than 1 quarter minus x. Repeating, solve this inequality for x. 3 halves times the quantity 1 minus x is greater than 1/4 minus x. That was a tough one. We were looking for x is less than 5 halves. We move on to a question for both teams. The mountains of the moon, otherwise known as the Ruwenzori Mountains of Uganda, are the source of what river? And that'll be Valley. Edsel?
The Nile.
That is correct. We have bonus questions now for Valley only, answering the following associated with geography. First, what sea forms part of the western border of Kazakhstan? Second, Papua and West Papua are the Indonesian provinces on the western part of what island?
Papua New Guinea.
Papua and West Papua Indonesian provinces on which island?
New Guinea's island.
Okay.
Captain?
Okay, our first answer is the Caspian Sea. Second answer, New Guinea.
Both are correct. You've got bonus points. Here's a question now for both teams. Fernand Mondego is one of the 3 villains in what famous French novel by Alexandre Dumas? And that is Gorman. Christian?
The 3 Musketeers.
Incorrect. And that is Valley. Chris?
The Count of Monte Cristo.
That is correct. More bonus questions for Valley only. Answer the following associated with literature. First, what word or phrase makes Poe's The Raven an example of a refrain poem? And Michael Crichton's The Lost World, that's a sequel to what other novel? Captain.
Okay. We don't have a first answer, but our second answer is Jurassic Park.
That is correct, so you have some bonus points. The first answer was Nevermore or Nothing More. Now this question for both teams, what style of architecture, whose name originally referred to a Germanic tribe, denotes, and that will be Valley. Edsel?
Gothic.
Yes. Bonus questions now for Valley only. Answer the following associated with architecture. First, the world's largest Gothic cathedral, the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, is located in what city? Second, name the early 20th century architectural style characterized by the use of materials such as stainless steel and aluminum.
Art Deco for the second. First one. I have no idea. I was just gonna guess like someplace in England.
Captain.
Okay. Our first answer is Stirling in Scotland. Our second answer, Art Deco.
Art Deco is correct. The first answer was New York, so some bonus points. All right, this question now for both teams. Jesse James was among the Confederate guerrillas who in 1864 captured and executed 24 unarmed Union soldiers at the Centralia Massacre. In what state? And that is Valley. Ming?
Missouri.
Yes. These bonus questions are for Valley only. Answer the following associated with the Civil War. First, what state was described by Unionist James Pettigrew as, quote, too small to be a republic and too large to be an insane asylum, after it seceded from the Union? Second, during the Battle of Antietam, name the nurse who tended the wounded so close to the fighting that a bullet went through her sleeve and killed a man she was treating.
Nightingale.
Captain.
Okay. Our first answer is South Carolina. Our second answer, Nightingale.
South Carolina is correct. The nurse was Clara Barton, so some bonus points. All right, a question for both teams now. When a theatrical performance has completed its run, what is the three-word command to remove all the props and background from the stage? Oh, you're going to kick yourselves. Strike the set. Okay, no theater people. Next question for both teams. What aquatic, blood-sucking annelids were regularly used to remove, quote, and that will be Gorman, Janavi.
Leeches?
Yes, that is correct. Bonus questions now for Gorman only. Answer the following associated with animals. First, insect wings emerge from which of the three major parts of their bodies? Second, what is a young skunk known as?
Is cub or kitten? I'm not sure. Go with cub.
Captain?
Yes, first answer is abdomen, second answer cub.
Both are incorrect. We were looking for thorax and kitten. All right, now that's the end of round two, but before we move on to the speed round, we wanted to give a shout out to our Varsity Quiz coaches. Now, if our students are the heart and soul of the Varsity Quiz program, guess what? The coaches are the backbones of the program. These coaches are working with the students week after week, putting in a lot of time and effort to make Varsity Quiz the success that it is. Let's meet our coaches for tonight. For Valley, it's Stan Willis. For Bishop Gorman, it's Jay Bonar. After 2 rounds of play, our score has changed. Valley now in the lead with 85. Gorman has 60. Literally anything can happen in our speed round. We do have some new players we'd like to introduce before we get into that speed round. First, from Valley High School, we have 10th grader Christian Salazar. Hi, Christian. Thanks for being with us and good luck. And 2 new players for Gorman. First, we have Ema Kowili. Hi, Ema, a junior there at Gorman. And we have another player from Gorman, a 10th grader, Aaron Araujo. Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
Good luck to both of you guys. Let's start our speed round. The Volga is the largest of the 130 rivers that flow into what sea? And that is Valley. Edsel?
The Black Sea.
That is incorrect. Did he get in time? He did not. We were looking for the Caspian Sea. What is the phrase for the constant factor between consecutive terms of a geometric sequence? A common ratio. To be a tornado, a violently rotating column of air must be in contact with the ground and with what kind of cloud above? And that is Valley. Edsel?
Cumulonimbus.
Correct. What is the title of the person in the president's cabinet who has the greatest control over setting DEFCON levels? And that is Gorman. Christian?
Secretary of Defense.
Yes. Beginning in 1899, Emilio Aguinaldo led what Americans generally called an insurrection in what country? And that is Gorman. Christian?
The Philippines.
Yes. What is the term for the part of the body consisting of both the cranium and the mandible? And that is Valley. Schuyler?
Skull.
Yes. Next question. What Canadian city founded by Samuel de Champlain is now a provincial capital? And that is Valley. Edsel?
Montreal.
That is incorrect. And that is Gorman. Ian Thomas?
Quebec.
Judge? We will accept that. We were looking for Quebec City, but we'll take Quebec. Next question. What is the term for an insoluble material that is formed from substances dissolved in a solution? And that is Valley. Schuyler?
Mixture.
No? Go ahead, Christian, from Gorman.
Solution.
No, we were looking for precipitate. Next question. Name the closest large galaxy to the Milky Way. And that is Gorman. Ian Thomas?
Andromeda.
Correct. What kind of body tissues consist of cells called adipocytes? And that is Gorman. Ian Thomas?
Fat cells.
Judge? What did you say? He said fat cells? Yeah. Okay, we also would take an adipose tissue, but fat works. Next question. Excluding squares, how many lines of symmetry does a rectangle have? And that is Valley. Edsel?
2.
Yes. To beatbox is to vocally imitate what family of musical instruments? And that is Gorman. Ema?
Percussion.
Yes. The world's largest reef system is located in what sea? Valley. Edsel?
The Pacific Ocean.
No? And Gorman. Christian?
Coral Sea.
It is the Coral Sea. What is the family name of the men who have imposed a police state on the people of North Korea? Gorman. Christian?
Un.
No. And that is Valley. Ming?
Kim.
Kim is the correct answer. Next question. During which decade in American history did silent movies and the Charleston dance? Valley. Schuyler?
The 1920s.
Yes. Next question. If conifers reproduce by means of seeds, by what means do ferns reproduce? Valley. Edsel?
Spores.
Yes. The Latin words parabellum means to prepare for what? Valley. Ming?
Prepare for war.
Yes. The novel Santa Evita is based on the first lady of what South American country? Gorman. Christian?
Chile.
No. Valley. Edsel?
Argentina.
Yes. Under the Antiquities Act, what U.S. president proclaimed Devil's Tower to be a national monument? And that is Gorman. Ian Thomas?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Yes. What is the nationality of the citizens of Curacao, St. Martin, and Aruba? Valley. Edsel?
Dutch.
Yes. The reflection of waves from a parabolic barrier results in the convergence of the waves at what point? Gorman. Christian?
Focal point.
Yes. The eccentricity of a hyperbola is greater than what? Gorman. Ian Thomas?
0.
No. Valley. Ming?
1.
Yes. What kind of snake in American folklore is said to grasp its tail in its mouth? And that is Gorman. Ema?
Ouroboros.
No. And roll after its prey. Valley. Schuyler?
Boa.
No, it's the hoop snake. Next question. What Mideast country that borders the Mediterranean is between Lebanon and Turkey? That is Valley Edsel.
Syria.
Yes. In a raid launched from the aircraft carrier USS Hornet on January 2, 1942, who led the first air attack on the Japanese home islands? Gorman, Christian?
Doolittle.
Yes. A free radical is a molecule with an odd number of what? Valley, Schuyler?
Electrons.
Yes. Except for the Kearsarge, all U.S. Navy battleships were named for what? Valley, Ming?
States.
Yes. Congress cannot override what kind of presidential veto? And that is Gorman. Ian Thomas?
Pocket veto.
Yes. What is the meaning of the root word in melodrama, melodica, and melody? The word is song. And we're out of time, so let's find out who won. All right, our final score after a tough competition, Valley comes out on top with 150 points to Gorman's 115. A round of applause, please, for both of our teams for an excellent match. Yeah. And congratulations to Valley. They are advancing to the regular division finals. Now, if you want to find out who they're going to be playing, we invite you to join us next Monday. That'll be February the 13th at 7:30. Bonanza will be taking on Shadow Ridge. We hope you'll tune in then for another exciting night of Varsity Quiz on Vegas PBS. Good night.